Hi there, guys. All right, today we are going to make a food web for a tropical wetland ecosystem from the Pantanal that's down in South America. We talked about it in class a little bit. So what you need is a big piece of poster board, which you have in front of you. It's one per group. You are also getting 2 pieces of paper. One looks like this. It says template 1 of 2. And there's several different organisms, plus our sun. And then template 2 of 2, which has the other organisms. Look, there's our capybara. You know I love my capybaras. And then we have our other group here of our decomposers. So you're only going to have one picture for decomposers. So the first thing you're going to have to do is split up the work and cut out your images. Cut them out. You can leave some of the white space, but be very careful that you're not cutting out any of the pictures, like ruining the picture himself or ruining the name, so that you don't have to sit there and relabel all of those animals. Once you have this, you are going to need your table from our student reader or from your rough draft, whatever you're using, that tells us what each of these organisms are. Are they producers, consumers, carnivores, herbivores, things like that? Is it just our sun? Be very careful not to throw out any of your pictures. You only get 1 copy of worksheets per group, so you will not be able to get another set. Don't rush through the cutting part. Take your time so that you don't mess up. It's okay if it's not perfect. It's just to get an idea. So we have all of our pictures cut out. And we need to make sure that we organize them. But first things first, I want to make sure my sun gets into the right spot on my poster. So this actually needs to go towards the bottom center. So I'm going to take it, I'm going to put it in the center, and I'm just going to go all the way to the edge, and that's where it should go, okay? Bottom center. Nowhere else, okay? So I'm going to take glue, and because I know that that's where the sun's going to be, it doesn't need to move, I'm going to carefully put a couple of dots of glue on the paper, not a whole lot, and glue my sun down. What it does is it gives us a lot of space to work with our poster, as you can see. So we have our sun here, and we have all of our pictures left over from me cutting. So now we're going to take our chart, and we are going to organize them based on their groups. So snails. Snails aren't producers. They don't produce their own energy, so I'm going to put it to the side. Green algae, they do. So I'm going to put it in another pile where no producers will be. My lovely capybaras, they do not produce their own energy. They need to eat food to get energy. So I'm going to put them to another pile. And I'm going to keep doing this. Ibis does not create its own energy. Producers. And I'm going to lay them out on my poster. Okay? I am not gluing anything down yet. All right? I am just laying them out. Okay. So once I laid out my images of my producers, I'm going to look through the rest of my organisms and try to sort them by herbivores, animals that just eat my producers, omnivores, the omnivores, the ones who eat everything, both plant and animal, and by my consumers, the ones who just eat other animals. So I now have 4, actually my rainbow chichlid can go with the ibis. So I now have 3 piles of animals plus my decomposers at the top of my page. I am going to start with just those herbivores, so my snail pile, and I'm going to lay them out first. It doesn't have to be circular. You can make it more horizontal rows if that's easier for your food web. Once I put those out, And then I'm going to do my omnivores and then my carnivores. And I'm going to lay them out before I glue anything down. I have a whole poster board to use. So I'm going to take my time and lay them out. Okay? So, my decomposer at the end. This buddy can go at the top or on the side, no matter where I want to put him. As long as I tell that everything, doesn't matter if it's a producer, consumer, or what, is going to be eaten or consumed by these decomposers. Because decomposers are organisms and animals that eat or get their energy from dead and decaying other plants and animals. So I'm going to put it at the top for now. I might move it around. And then here's a layout of my idea of a food web. What I'm going to do next is take a pencil and I'm going to draw some arrows to connect all of these different organisms. And then using a Sharpie, I am going to outline those pencil marks to make sure that they are nice and neat. I don't need to use color. I don't need to add other pictures. I just need to show how the sun's energy gets to the producers and the producers' energies get to all of the different consumers. Okay? Okay, and one of the last things I just need to show you is that after you have, I still have to go over it with marker, but once you've drawn all your arrows, you do need to label your food web. It could be tropical wetland food web, Pantanal food web. It needs to have some sort of name. You do need to make sure that you have all of your producers labeled as producers, that all of your consumers are labeled as consumers, and that all of the producers and consumers are shown with an arrow. I redid it for our decomposers, and that those are labeled as well. If you want to be creative and label your herbivores, omnivores, and carnivores, you can. And then you can draw a key when you have space. But other than that, this is what your project should look like. Once this is done, once this model is done, you can use it to answer a whole lot of different questions and finish up this lab. Okay, work well with your group, don't argue, and have fun.